to vibrate. This video is not for history purposes. This video is to bring up, or it's a reminder to have the balance of, giving thanks, giving that, how we say Ashe, you know what I'm saying? Giving thanks for our ancestors, that came before us, especially those who had to stand up and do some things where they had to, put their vehicle on the line. Because as much as this may be a simulation, if it, and a lot of people who do metaphysics on a high level understand this, but you don't see none of us just like doing any old thing, you know what I'm saying? So definitely, again, just off of the strength of that, like, are you doing that type of shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. So, you definitely want to give thanks to those who was, stepping up to the plate. And at the same time, making sure, we not, holding on to our trauma as well, like, we remember these things, but more so it's like a celebration of life and giving thanks for, those ancestors doing what they, what they did, and understanding to it, as we say, ancestors, it could have been you reincarnated, so you also possibly giving thanks and respect to yourself in essence. But either way it go, I mean, from the perspective of a, individual incarnation, because again, in the wholeness of it, everything is interconnected, but just not to that unhealthy aspect. But again, this is John Saint Malo. He was also known as Juan San Malo. Juan San Malo. Again, this is not no history lesson, so I just like pulled this up on Bang. I ain't even do Google. I just pulled it up on Bang right quick to just get a little rough. And I already kind of took a little look myself beforehand, but again, as a matter of fact, and it's dealing with Louisiana and New Orleans and the Maroons, which is also, the Maroons was also in the Caribbean area, in Jamaica and stuff like that. So you got that whole interconnection. And again, he transitioned on June 19th. Again, I never heard of this person. Again, don't recall this picture, but I come across this. Oh, and just so you can see. I mean, of course you could see it, this, before Juneteenth. It's just, again, we know how the energy is just in the air and the collective, and I'm in Louisiana, so for sure, if Juneteenth gonna be felt somewhere in America, it's definitely one of them states for sure, without a doubt, baby, without a doubt. But again, you know what I'm saying, staying lighthearted, Yep, just want to share that spirit, you know what I'm saying? And the being lined me up with this for a reason, and I felt like to not share, but it just kept knocking on the door, like, hey, share this. I'm like, all right, it is. But, tapping in with the ancestors, and that could be, again, whether it's just, expressing gratitude. Some people may put out certain items or plates of food on the altar, you know what I'm saying? However you feel you genuinely expressing gratitude to the ancestors, in alignment with following your intuition, then that's how you should do it. Like, there's no one way or, like, hey, I like to express things in that manner because it ain't, again, but understanding though, with any way, as long as you're not, that's the for sure though. If I'm gonna share something, to make sure you don't get caught up in la la land with it. In essence, as long as you're not worshiping anything external, like there's a power that's not inside you, that's outside you, in that essence, as long as you're not giving out your power or giving away, and I say your power, but just giving out, you know, that energy as if it's not in you, as if source energy don't exist within you, or as if you have to, worship this thing externally. Again, the external aspect of an altar, aka, alter our subconscious, as we work with these certain items, is to allow our subconscious to be aware that we're connecting with this energy. The energy that we activating internally, and not necessarily, I definitely give thanks though. Ashe. Jean Saint Malo, or we could say Juan San Malo. Juan San Malo. Ashe.
Exactly what I said.
That's just the physical resemblance to your ancestor rising to the surface, Yusuke. Though I'm beginning to suspect that he's still alive somewhere in this world.
So then, he must have been the guy who turned me into his own personal marionette during that last shot on Sensui. What makes you so sure? Oh, just something that crazy voice in my head said to me, but you never know. Hearing voices? You are the one. At last. Who are you? You don't know how to use your power. Let me show you. And those words are the last thing that I remember hearing before everything went silent. I blacked out. Then what? Hey, watch where you're pointing that thing! You asked me what happened next, right? Well, this is how I was when I woke.
Through a connection with his
I just finished shooting my spirit gun. I saw the blast heading for Sensui like it was in slow motion, but I realized I wasn't the one who fired it. Let's go!
No coincidence.
If my ancestor is here and still alive, we have to find him! No, come on, you're messy. We close the case and save the world. Can't we at least take a nap? I'm not gonna rest until I get to the bottom of this. My ancestors got in the way of my fight, and I can't let him get away with that, no matter who he's related to. If you weren't with me, fine, I'll just stay and find him on my own.
You know, Yusuke.
And this is a personification of the psychology of it, Like, he actually, in essence, Yusuke went through the process of individuation, like, basically integrating his quote-unquote dark side with his, light side, or, the shadow self, what some may call, like, again, like our demon side versus, which demon didn't mean the negative aspect at first anyway, but, it's like he went through the process of individuation through, the ancestor coming through and transforming his energy and his ability. And as he was fighting somebody, though, right, like, basically, like he was just saying, all of a sudden something kind of like felt like possessed him. And right now this energy is coming up a lot, like, matter of fact, it's right before Juneteenth, in America, in Louisiana, the South, for sure, connection with a lot of our ancestors, getting their freedom, quote unquote freedom, a little more freedom, around this time. So like the energy's coming through, but it's another little connection. Again, like that awareness of us dealing with that energy of connecting with our ancestors. But that's what I was about to say. But he like, oh, I don't care who my ancestors is. You're not gonna rule me like that. And that's like a dynamic of a dilemma that could be, manifested through that connection, in the sense of, like, you could either vibe with that connection or be against it, and just more so in the sense where, like how I bring up how some of us like, oh, not gonna let nothing possess me, and I speak on that, like, when channeling certain aspects of your inner self, especially ancestors, like setting that healthy boundary of like not allowing certain ancestors to just like jump in and just, what I'm saying, be channeled in any moment without control, you know. And, his attitude right now kind of speaks to that in that sense, like not necessarily against his ancestor, but just kind of like want some answers, like you say, like, like how this ancestor just jumped through my body, what I'm saying, and do this on this level, So it's kind of like a little curiosity with it, more so. But, I shade to the ancestors. Just wanted to share that with, insight again with Jean Saint Malo, aka Juan San Malo, the Maroon from New Orleans. And I say the Maroon, but you know what I'm saying.